Pâte sucrée is sweet, buttery, and crumbly, like a shortbread cookie, and is just what you need when a sturdy pastry base is required for soft fillings like custards, creams, and fruits. Today I'm using it for my red fruit tart, which is filled with vanilla-flecked pastry cream and a pile of gorgeous berries. Today I'm making Pâte sucrée extra, which gives you a little bit more strength, is sweeter, and has more eggs than Pâte sucrée. So 2½ cups of flour, 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar, a pinch of salt, and butter, ice cold butter, 2 sticks, chilled, cut into like 1/2-inch pieces. Now pulse like that until the butter is cut up into sort of coarse small pieces. We need 3 egg yolks. And just add as you pulse. You're going to have a beautiful golden yellow crust, which after chilling will roll out very nicely. We want to divide the dough into 2 equal discs. So there you have a bright yellow, beautiful piece of Pâte sucrée extra. Now refrigerate for at least an hour. You can do this overnight, but I would not leave it in the refrigerator for much longer than 24 hours. So on a lightly floured surface, roll this dough into about a 13-inch round. Now, how to get it from here to here? Easiest way that I find is just to roll it up on the rolling pin. Work quickly, you don't want it to break. So roll it like this, sort of center it on the pan, and let it fall into the pan. Now, we don't have to reinforce the sides. This will bake well. If you feel that they're too thin, you can always just push down the sides a little bit all the way around to make them a little bit thicker. This is a 9-inch tart pan with a removable bottom. Very nice. Now just push this off. You can do this with your thumb like this, all the way around, or just take your rolling pin and roll over the edge like this. Now put this in the freezer and chill for at least an hour. So here's our nice frozen tart shell. We're going to blind bake it. Blind baking means that we're going to bake it without any filling in it. But in order to keep the pastry from bubbling up and collapsing, we're going to bake it with some pie weights. We have these old beans that we've been baking with, I don't know for how many years, maybe 10 or 20 years, but we just keep adding to our collection. And we line this with a piece of parchment paper. Pour your weights. Your oven is preheated to 350 degrees. Just that amount of weight will keep the tart shell in its own shape. Now bake until the sides are golden brown, about 20 to 25 minutes. We're going to then remove the weights and continue baking until the crust is a very light golden brown, 10 to 15 minutes more. For the pastry cream filling, in a medium saucepan, we're going to whisk together the dry ingredients first. 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1/2 cup of sugar, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now the wet ingredients, 2 eggs and 2 cups of milk. So now add the milk to your dry ingredients, stir it together, put the flame on high. You can add 1 tablespoon of butter, unsalted. Oh, isn't that an easy pastry cream? And vanilla, we're going to flavor with the seeds and pod of 1 vanilla bean, which, if you didn't know, vanilla beans grow on the vanilla orchid. And I'm even putting the bean right into the pot. And the zest of 1/2 an orange. Once it comes to a boil, let it boil for 1 minute and then remove it from the heat. We're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of gelatin softened in 1 tablespoon of water. That will make sure the filling of the pastry cream stays firm enough so that you can actually serve it and it doesn't get runny in the tart pan. Remove the vanilla bean, which can be discarded, and stir in the soft gelatin. Has to be done while the mixture is still hot, otherwise the gelatin will not dissolve in the mixture. It's nice and smooth, lump-free, and now you can chill it in a bowl. Cover this with plastic wrap. Put the plastic wrap right on the surface of the hot pastry cream. This will prevent a skin from forming while it cools. Refrigerate until chilled. It's going to take at least 2 hours, or you can even keep this in the refrigerator for up to 2 days. Many recipes call for pastry creams to be lightened and made more delicious with the addition of whipped cream, and this tart is no exception. So whip about 1/4 cup of heavy cream and fold the cream into the chilled pastry cream. It gets visibly more voluminous, but also lighter. And then put this into your pre-baked, blind-baked tart shell. Should be just enough to fill the tart. And just spread this in an even layer. This has to sit in the refrigerator until it sets. And then all your red fruits, your red berries, are piled on top. And that can happen just an hour or 2 before serving. Into the fridge for at least 2 hours. Now's the fun part. You can pile beautiful berries if you have red ripe strawberries and red ripe raspberries. You can just very carefully, and I like to do this with my hands because I won't crush the fruit so much. I've halved the delicious sweet strawberries. Doesn't that look pretty? And mix them with some of the raspberries. And I would say altogether you'll need about 5 cups of berries, and pile them as high as you can. Remember, there's nothing holding these berries together, so that when you slice the tart, you're going to have some tumbling berries. But how beautiful is that? This red fruit tart would be perfect for your dessert at your next dinner party. Why don't you give it a try?